Hello, this is a brief presentation to introduce the challenge writers to the 2024 iCTF. First of all, please check the existing introductory presentation for the 2024 iCTF that is targeted to the participants of the competition, and also check all the materials on ictf.cs.ucsb.edu. But let's talk about the challenge format. There are two types of challenge. There is a local challenge, or a data challenge also called, and a remote challenge. Local challenges are based on downloadable artifacts only. So imagine, for example, that you have an encrypted file system that you download, that you have to break, and in one of the files in this file system, there is the flag. So there is no need to interact with any external entity. You just download the data, analyze it through a forensics process or some kind, and you extract the flag. Or there are remote challenges. In this case, there is a Docker container that runs on CTFD that implements the service, and the participants will connect to the service, and they will have to bypass the security mechanisms of the service and extract the challenge. So imagine, for example, there is a chatbot, an LLM chatbot that you connect to, and you have to trick it into disclosing the flag. That would be a remote challenge. To understand how these challenges are structured, please go to the GitHub repo that you see here. In the challenges there are two example challenges, a local challenge and a remote challenge, that you could use as a basis to develop your own challenge. And all the actual current challenges are stored in the iCTF 24 challenges repo. Now, note, this is very important. The iCTF 24 repository is public because is used to show to everyone how we structure our challenges. The iCTF 24-challenges repo instead is very, very not public, because only developers are supposed to access the challenge. If this gets disclosed to the public, well, the competition is over before it even starts. So keep the challenges secret until the competition ends. You cannot share the structure or their content with anyone that is not a challenge writer or a competition organizer. So to write a challenge, you have to follow a process. First, you decide if your challenge is a remote challenge or a local challenge. And at that point, you can copy the corresponding sample challenge from the iCTF 24 repo, the public one. Under challenges, there are examples of both types of challenges. Then you customize the challenge to make it your own. For example, you write the logic behind the challenge, or you change the data so that it is now a new artifact that needs to be downloaded. And after that, you add your challenge to the iCTF 24-challenges repo, okay? You can develop a challenge for high schools or for undergraduate students. And if you develop, of course, a challenge that has two levels of difficulty, you can create two versions of the challenge, one for high school students and one for undergraduate, with the undergraduate version obviously being more difficult. After you develop your challenge and you put it in the repo, you will have to add some meta information to this spreadsheet. It's a Google Doc that in which there are all the challenges being developed for the competition, so we can keep track. Has these challenges been tested? Has been deployed? Are there any problems? So please make sure that you are listed, that your challenge is listed in this spreadsheet. Also, we want to provide some educational materials that are a background for your challenge. This is only required for high school challenges. So imagine not to provide a solution, but you have to provide some materials that, for example, the high school students can read so they can understand what is the general idea or scope of the challenge. For example, if your challenge uses some kind of AI mechanism to find vulnerabilities in a piece of software, you can, provide a paper on using LLMs for finding vulnerabilities in software. Or you can provide a tutorial that is in some blog post on an external site. So again, something that can be used by the high school student to kind of have an idea of what they're expected to do without having to tell them exactly how to solve the challenge. Also, you need to test your challenge, and we will have more later on that. Also, there is a Discord channel called Challenge Writers that you should monitor for information about your challenge, or for discussing your challenge or the challenges about your challenge with other challenge writers. So how do you test your challenge? First, you have to make sure that your challenge is a Docker container that works well. So developing your challenge on your system, say, oh yeah, it worked, but then doesn't work when Dockerized is a problem. So you have to make sure that the challenge is really in the format that CTFD requires. It can only be one container, cannot be multi-container. And also, you want to make sure that your challenge that works in CTFD has been exploited by somebody that had no prior knowledge of the challenge. So find a friend, a cousin, a brother or sister that is in computer science and know how to develop software or to run CTFs, and say, okay, this is my challenge. This is all the information that you get, solve it. And only when that person has solved the challenge, you will be sure that it can be solved without prior knowledge. If you try to solve it yourself, there's always some information that you think is available, but maybe it's only in your head, assumptions that you're making, guessing that you can do because you wrote the challenge. We want to avoid that. This is really a problem. So you want a third person that doesn't know anything about the challenge, that simulates actually a participant to the competition to test the challenge. Also, you have to make sure that your challenge does not require too many resources in terms of disk or RAM or LLM access. If you have to build something that is really expensive, let us know. We can create sort of like customized environment that we will actually host at UCSB, because most challenges will be hosted by CTFD. But if there is access or to specific resources, we can set something ad hoc. So please talk to us if you plan to do something like that. So let's look at what goes in a challenge. So you need a README file, okay, a challenge.yaml file that is what CTFD expects to be able to deploy the challenge, and of course a Docker file if the challenge is a service, and the Docker file is used to actually launch the service. Also, you need to provide a write-up that contains a README file that describes how to exploit the challenge. This will be used later as the basis for an AI-enabled sort of like tutor. So the more details you provide in natural language about how to exploit your challenge, the better the chatbot is going to be. Also, you want to have an exploit program that actually, when run, exploits the challenge. This is not always possible, especially with LLM and chatbots, because the results are always different. But if you can, that would be fantastic. Also, again, there is a materials directory that provides some background materials, not the solution to the challenge, but the context. Stuff that you think would be useful in order to provide relevant papers, link to tutorials, and so on and so forth. Also, the focus. All the challenges need to be at the intersection of AI and cybersecurity. The Action Institute really brings together these two worlds the world of AI and the world of cybersecurity. So we want to have challenges that really show either how AI can be broken, or how AI can be used to break something, or how AI can be used to secure something. But there is something that, takes from artificial intelligence, can be machine learning, can be chatbots, can be, planning and strategy, and there is something from security. Also, high school challenges need to be very easy. You have to understand that high schoolers don't have the level of sophistication that you can expect from an undergrad student. And so you have to go easy, because otherwise they will be frustrated and not interested or excited about solving these challenges. And of course, as I said before, a challenge can have both a high school version and an undergraduate version with different level of difficulty. So the same challenge can have two different versions. So we need challenges. The more challenge we get, the better. Please go creative, go crazy, submit 5, 6 challenges. We would, be happy to receive too many challenges. That has never been a problem. And in this way, we can make the competition super interesting for all the teams, especially the high school teams. Let's get high school students excited about the intersection of AI and cybersecurity, two of the most interesting topics in computer science. Thank you very much. And if you need any more information, you can contact me, or you can join the Challenge Writer Discord channel on the Discord Action server and ask questions. Thank you very much. And I hope you send us amazing challenges for the 2024 iCTF competition.